Okay, this is 5 minutes on harassment on the internet. What sort of triggered this story or kicked this story off was a story I read about, or rather a video I watched about a Twitch personality that is transgendered named Keffels.
Keffels.
Yes, and I guess they stream to a fairly young audience, and they talk about, I guess, like home brewing your own hormones for your own sort of hormone treatments, which I didn't know you could do, but on just first glance doesn't seem like a very responsible thing to do, but maybe it's safe. I don't know.
Sounds incredibly dangerous.
Sounds very dangerous. Yeah, never mind to be sort of teaching young people how to do that. It seems kind of, you think you'd want a doctor involved in such a thing. At any rate, the point of this is that this Keffels person has come into sort of a internet kind of beef with this other personality known as the Quartering, and they would probably fall on different sides of the political spectrum, but that regardless of that. The fallout of this is that it seems, I can't prove this is all alleged, but it seems as if the Keffels side of the argument, the people on that side have decided to sort of do a coordinated dogpiling of the Quartering to try to make it look as if he's being ratioed. And I find that interesting because there's a lot of concern that the type of dogpiling they're doing isn't like the traditional way of doing it was to just get literally a bunch of people to, I guess, downvote something. But now I guess there's other techniques that you can do that you get the same effect, but it looks more organic, so it's harder for some people anyway to discern and that it's this is fake and ignore it. And I guess the concern of maybe the point of this 5 minutes is just that the importance of learning to ignore and separate yourself from the internet, and because it's kind of like it's not the real world at all. And coming from being an older, as the internet goes, older generation person, we never really took it. I don't know. I just have this thing. I don't take it that seriously. You know what people say, but I guess a lot of people, they find it very difficult to disengage from those dislikes and stuff. And people,
Yep.
If they see a bunch of people in their messages saying mean things, they really take it personally.
Well, they're so hooked in, it seems to me, to social media, they can't separate themselves. And anything you see on the internet should be treated with a healthy dose of skepticism, no matter which side of the political spectrum you fall on which side it falls on.
Right.
You have to, confirm sources and do all kinds of things. And until then, don't take it seriously. Yes, it's interesting. Yes, that could be true, but it could just as easily not be true.
Yeah. Well, that's to say, and to just not be, it's like, I guess my distinction is if as long as everything remains in the internet world and amongst anonymous people, right? Yeah. I'm not concerned. I don't love it, I suppose, if a lot of people are saying nasty things or whatever, but I just ignore it because it's the internet, right?
Yeah, if they show up at your door, then it's different.
It's different when they cross into the real world. That I do have a problem, and that's when I can understand someone really melting down when they're worried that people are literally strangers are showing up at their door. That's a real big line to cross.
If there's a threat of physical violence, it's that old saying, "Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words won't hurt me." With the internet, you can always just hit the off switch. But if they come to your door and they're threatening you with violence, that's a different story.
Exactly, and that's my situation. Is just that so long as it's just. It sounds like, anyway, a lot of this dogpiling that happens to some people that they take to heart is just this nonsense. It's this fake. It's fake, basically, right? It's a few people coordinating to make it look like there's a bunch of people saying. Because just think about it. Run it through your head. Try to get someone to go to the grocery store with you, right? Or do anything. How are these people going to coordinate thousands and thousands of people to do anything for free? Like, it's impossible to get people to do anything. So the idea that that people can just marshal, like, there's some other shenanigans going on there of how they're able to do this. I don't think they literally have thousands of people just standing strong, ready to run over and do their bidding. Like, it just seems very unlikely. I think that they're using bots and they're using, I don't fully understand the tactics. I guess there's some way of, like, if the dislikes are spread across different platforms, like, instead of just view bombing one platform, instead they'll try to, like, they'll spread their dislikes, say, across 3 of your platforms.
Okay.
So that you don't just say, oh, just look, 10,000 people suddenly hated YouTube. Oh, bullshit.
Yeah.
Instead, you get, say, 5,000, 5,000, and 5,000. They
Okay,
split
yeah,
them,
yeah.
so that looks a little more organic. Oh, well, maybe that was, but it's
Yeah.
still just them playing games, right?
Yeah.
But people, I guess some people really, those likes mean a lot to them. And if you really are hanging on life or death for those likes, I guess those kind of tactics could be very effective, because you'd be thinking, oh no, all these people, don't like me or whatever.
I think my concern is that people won't realize how hooked in they are to those likes and dislikes. They may say, "Oh no, I got it under control," but in reality, it is subtly influencing them. The people I'm most concerned about are young people, new users. And follow me through with this. Okay, you're a young person and you hear somebody like us say, "Oh, don't get too hooked into this," and you can always turn off the off button, and you only have to worry if somebody shows up at your door. And then every day you go from your computer to school,
Right.
where there are real people who could very well be, so in effect, threatening you with violence,
Right.
or at least social ostracism. Well, for a young person, that's unbelievably difficult. I think, and maybe there are these places, and maybe you know about them, I don't. There should be sites, if we're going to use the internet anyway, where those people can go and say, hey, I am just getting dogpiled here at school, on the internet. I'm not getting support from my family. They don't get what's going on. I need some people who actually get what's going on and can give me some support. I'm not even finding it with my friends at school because everybody's scared type of thing. Well, that's those people have to have a place to go. They have to have a place where somebody can actually understand it and just give them some support. So, yeah, you're right. This is crazy. And yeah, don't worry. Life isn't always going to be like this. It changes, and you'll get away from school, and all those people that you never would have hung around with anyway, but you were forced to because you were in school, you'll never see them again. You'll be able to make a whole new life for yourself, family, friends. Well, friends anyway. And I feel very concerned for them. So that's my.
Yeah, I agree, and it's unfortunate. I feel that people like that tend to get sucked in by, I think, some bad faith actors who pretend to be their friends. Reach out to people like that, but then really just they teach them that they're victims. Kind of thing.
Yeah,
It doesn't help, and then they end up just dogpiling someone else. So it's not. There is a lot of vulnerable people, and there is just not enough. The internet. There isn't enough sort of like it's not the internet. It's like, okay, certainly parents should do more, I think, to get more savvy themselves about the internet, and then get so that they can help their kids better.
Yes.
But it doesn't help that seemingly the outside forces like corporations and other interests are forever working against that.
Well, it
right?
sounds like they're working with this.
They are
Keppels, whatever.
Keffels. They're working. She's backed by the mainstream now. And I said, the mainstream is not generally doesn't have most people's. In fact, you can
best interest at heart.
You can almost guarantee if it's in the mainstream, it almost by its nature can't have your best interest.
It's almost whatever they say, just take the reverse. That's what they really mean.
It seems to be so. That's the trouble with the mainstream and these. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
All right.